Every single year, the holiday season hits us like a tidal wave of spending. We all see those huge numbers in the headlines, right? But what if I told you the real story is, well, way more complicated and honestly a lot more surprising? Okay, let's dive into the fascinating paradox of holiday spending.
So let's kick things off with the big one. According to the National Retail Federation, the average person in the US is planning to spend almost $900 this holiday season. And get this, that's the second highest number we've seen in more than 20 years. On the surface, it looks like it's going to be a very, very merry season for retailers.
And that leads us right into part one, a season of big spending. At first glance, the story seems pretty simple. The holiday economy is absolutely booming.
And if you think that per person number is big, wait till you zoom out. We're not talking hundreds of dollars anymore. NC Chat says that Americans are on track to spend over $200 billion, and that's just on gifts. So yeah, the takeaway here is pretty clear. The holidays are a massive, massive engine for the economy.
Okay, so where is all this cash actually going? Now, you might notice these numbers don't add up to 100%. That's because, most of us shop all over the place. No surprise, online is still king. 55% of us plan to buy gifts there. But look how close grocery stores, department stores, and discount stores are right behind it. It tells you that, yeah, we love convenience, but we are definitely also hunting for a good deal wherever we can find one.
All right, but here's where the story takes a turn. Welcome to part two, the holiday price pinch. Because behind all those cheerful headlines, there's a much tougher reality. This is where the paradox really starts to kick in. For millions of people, this season of spending is also a season of pretty serious financial stress.
And wow, this slide really just lays it all out. On one hand, you have the overall inflation rate, just kind of chugging along at about 3%. But then you look at the prices of popular holiday gifts, and bam! They've shot up by an average of 26%, according to an analysis by the Century Foundation. That's not double or triple. That's almost 9 times the regular rate of inflation. Insane.
And listen, these aren't just abstract economic numbers. This is hitting us right in the shopping cart. We're talking about the exact kinds of gifts a lot of us are looking to buy. Thinking about that VTech camera for your niece? It's up 76%. That classic Melissa and Doug tea set? Up 55%. Some things, like this light tape, have literally more than doubled in price in just 1 year.
So what in the world is causing this sticker shock? Well, that same analysis points a finger at one main culprit: tariffs on goods we import. Think about it. A huge chunk of our toys, our electronics, our clothes, it's all made overseas. And that think tank argues that those extra costs are just being passed straight on to us at the checkout line.
And this whole issue definitely wasn't just some quiet economic debate. It was front and center. When President Trump was asked about tariffs possibly making toys more expensive, he suggested families might just buy fewer gifts, a comment that really put a spotlight on the tough, real-world trade-offs people were having to think about.
And you can really see the impact on families in the data. Polling from Data for Progress shows this widespread anxiety. A staggering 2/3 of voters are stressed about affording the holidays. And how are they coping? Over 40% say they're just cutting back and buying fewer gifts. This is so crucial because it shows how those huge spending numbers we saw earlier, they don't tell the story of that stress.
Which leads us right to the heart of the paradox in part 3. So if prices are way up and everybody's feeling the pinch, how on earth is overall spending still near record highs? What gives? Well, the secret isn't in how much we're spending, but in what we're spending it on.
And boom, here's our answer. The whole idea of what a gift is, it's changing. Sure, physical stuff you can wrap is still the biggest piece of the pie, but look at how much space gift cards and especially experiences are taking up in our holiday budgets. It's a fundamental shift in what we value.
And this trend is really picking up steam. Data from the Common Sense Institute shows that, yes, spending on physical gifts is growing, but spending on experiences, we're talking concert tickets, weekend trips, special dinners out, has jumped by 16%. It seems more and more of us are choosing to give a great memory over just another material thing.
And of course, technology is changing how we do all this shopping. It doesn't matter if you're buying a sweater, a digital gift card, or tickets to a show, nearly 60% of those purchases are now happening right on our phones. The holiday shopping mall is officially in our pockets. Okay, time for our final section. We've untangled this puzzle of high prices mixed with high spending. But to really get a handle on the holidays, we need to zoom all the way back out and just grasp the colossal, mind-boggling scale of this 2-month economic event. So let's just ask it plainly. When you add everything up, the gifts, the food, the decorations, the whole shebang, just how big is America's holiday spending spree? I promise you, the answer is going to be a surprise. Just look at this. In only 2 months, November and December, Americans spend nearly $1 trillion on holiday retail. To put that in perspective, our holiday season spending is bigger than the entire annual economic output of Turkey. It's neck and neck with the yearly GDP of the Netherlands. It is an economic force on the scale of a G20 nation. It's just staggering.
But is all that spending actually efficient? Here's a final, kind of nerdy thought from the world of economics that I find fascinating. It's a theory called the deadweight loss of Christmas. The basic idea is that gift giving can actually destroy value. For example, say you spend $50 on a sweater for your uncle, but he really only would have paid $30 for it himself. That $20 difference? Well, economists consider that an economic loss.
And that brings us right back to the heart of the holiday paradox, doesn't it? As we all navigate these rising prices and shift our spending from things to experiences, we're all kind of forced to ask ourselves what really matters. Is it the economic value of the gift, or is it the thought and the memory that it creates? Definitely a question worth thinking about.